Have you ever felt like you don't belong in your job? Like you somehow got lucky and one day people are going to find out you're not as capable as they think you are? If you've ever felt like this, you're not alone. This is called imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is that feeling that you're not as competent as people think you are, even when there's clear evidence that you are. Is that voice in your head telling you, I don't deserve to be here, I just got lucky, and everyone else knows more than me. And the reality is, a lot of people experience this, especially in fast moving industries like tech. In tech, things move very fast. There's always something new to learn, new tools, new systems, new problems. So it's very easy to compare yourself to others and feel like you're left behind. I personally experienced this in my first entry level IT job. I was working as a first line for a MSP, which is a managed service provider, basically a external IT company that provides support to businesses. And I genuinely felt like I was a fraud, that I didn't belong, and I was lucky to be there. I remember having this feeling of looking at my other fellow first line people that were on first line with me and felt like they had super knowledge that I didn't have. But after a few weeks, I started to realize they didn't have superpowers. They just had more experience in that specific role. Because we work for an MSP, which is basically a managed service provider, an external IT company that provided IT support for multiple clients. It was a very fast paced environment. We supported many different clients, and the team that were there before me were already familiar with these clients. They knew the common issues that came up, they knew how to fix the recurring problems quickly, and they knew the systems these clients used. So, for example, we had a university that was one of our clients, and the team were already familiar with the common and typical issues that this university would have, so they could quickly resolve these issues. Just how, from my view, looking out from being new there, it would look like they knew everything quickly, but it's just that familiarity, that getting used to the system. So it wasn't that they were smarter than me, they were just more familiar with the environment. Being used to your environment and the familiarity is quite similar to, for example, a someone working in a grocery store. So, for example, when you go to a grocery store, which we all experienced, and you go in, ask one of the people that work there, excuse me, do you know where the chocolate spread is, for example? And the person that's more experienced will automatically say, aisle 10. But if you go in another day or later on ask someone else, excuse me, do you know where, someone newer, do you know where the bread is, or do you know where the cleaning products are? Because they knew, or maybe they've been there for a couple of days, they'll be like, I don't know, let's go find it together. And they'll take you along and they'll find it and say, oh, because they're new to that system. It doesn't mean the people, they may have worked in another grocery store, they may in different environments, but they had their training, they're quite competent to the level that you need to be in working in a grocery store. So they just wasn't familiar with that particular grocery store. So it's similar in tech. You you've went through your studies, you've done your what you needed to do, but any new environment, people will already be there that are more used to that environment than you. So for me, it was a mindset shift. I knew that had done my studies, I went through the courses, I knew I was competent. I went through the interviews. They hired me for a reason. Sometimes in other jobs, multiple interviews. So it wasn't that I wasn't ready or was a fraud. I knew I had earned my place and I just needed experience. And this feeling doesn't just happen at entry level jobs, it happens at senior level jobs as well. So I remember going into my first time going into a second line job or more senior roles. The experience doesn't go away because even in a senior role, especially in a new environment or a new company, there's other senior people there that have been there longer than you. So they'll seem like they know much more than you. It's your first time experiencing this senior level job or this second line level job. So this is not just bespoke for an entry level job. It happens at every level, especially as I said, when you're in a different company, different industry, or a different level job. So that feeling of imposter syndrome isn't a sign that you're not good enough. It's usually actually a sign that you're stepping into something new and that you're growing, because growth happens when you're uncomfortable. For example, in the gym, your muscles grow when they're uncomfortable. If you stick to the same weights and you're doing the same level of intensity of weights in the gym, you're just going to be maintaining, you won't be growing. So it's like sticking to the same job or the same level. But if you want to grow your muscles and you want to get bigger, and you have to stretch your muscles and you have to go to the deeper end. So is usually a sign that you're growing, which is a good thing. So if you're feeling like this right now, especially in your first role, IT role, or in a new job, just remember you were hired for a reason. You are not expected to know everything. And the people that you're comparing yourself to were once in your position. So give yourself time and remember what feels overwhelming today is going to feel like second nature tomorrow. If you've ever experienced imposter syndrome, let me know in the comments. I think more people than we realize actually go through this. So if you enjoyed this video and want to see more, please like and subscribe and watch out for more videos to come.